What is up, guys? It's Modern Warfare here, Gamertag Banjo Chicken, and welcome back to another video. So, another quick discussion video actually on key vaults, which I get asked about a hell of a lot, particularly on Skype and things like that. People wonder how long my key vaults last, and I tell them that an unshared key vault for me lasts about, well, the longest time an unshared key vault has lasted for me was 2.5 months, and the shortest time just over a week. So people wonder how do my key vaults last that long? And yeah, I do get asked to make videos about this. So this is basically my top 10 ways or methods of making your key vaults last longer. Some of these things you're going to be able to do, some of them you're not, just depending on certain circumstances, like your key vault seller, and some things that are beyond your control, like getting a Corona key vault and stuff like that. Some of these things you'll be able to follow, some you won't, but just follow as much as you possibly can, because each little thing will help in the long run to keep your key vaults unbanned for longer. So I'm starting with the first. The list is going number one, number two. These are all going to be like the most important things that you should do, that will affect it the most, and then getting further down to like 7, 8, 9, 10 are just little extra things you can do that will increase the life of it just a little bit longer. So number one, unshared key vaults. Always go for unshared, never go for shared. Shared only lasts minutes or hours, a day at the most. But yeah, you definitely want to go for an unshared key vault because they can last months if you follow all the other steps, or most of the other steps. So yeah, always go for unshared key vaults and never go for shared. Simple as that. Number two, full XOSC spoofing. Make sure you always go for a service, stealth service that has full XOSC spoofing. All the major ones do, I believe, but if you're going for stuff like offline files, a lot of offline files have stuff missing, like no gold spoofing, no XOSC spoofing. So, or if they have XOSC spoofing, it's not full XOSC spoofing. So just make sure whatever service you're using has full XOSC spoofing. That is an important one. If you don't have that, then your key vaults will get banned within a day, or maybe just over a day. So yeah, make sure it has full XOSC spoofing. And number three, no homebrew apps. Do not go for homebrew apps at all. Never ever run homebrew apps when you're online. That means no XX menu when you're online, no freestyle dash when you're online, no dash launch when you're online. None of those applications should be running. Obviously dash launch runs in the background, but I mean the GUI version of dash launch. Don't launch any of those when you're online. XX menu 1.1 is a bad one. It gets you banned within a day usually. And you've got freestyle dash, which is really bad as well. It'll get you banned super quick. So will dash launch GUI. So just make sure you don't use any homebrew apps when you're online. Even XX menu 1.2, which a lot of people use because it's supposedly live safe, it will obviously make your key vaults last longer than using XX menu 1.1, but it will still get them banned quicker if you just don't use it at all. So please don't use any homebrew apps when you're online. If you want to launch your games, you want to transfer files wirelessly or over internet, over network connection, then please use Xbox 360 Neighborhood. I know a lot of people don't like Neighborhood. I'm disliking it myself. I've taken a disliking to Neighborhood lately as well, because it disconnects me a lot, and on wireless it's slow as hell. But believe me, it's worth it to make your key vaults last longer. So please use use Xbox 360 Neighborhood. Don't use any homebrew apps, because Neighborhood's undetectable, and yeah, it's just going to make your key vaults last longer if you only use Neighborhood instead of XX menu when you're online. So number four, KV sellers. You gotta watch who you're buying a key vault from. A lot of them do scam. I'm not saying they all scam, that's not true. I'm sure there's plenty of legitimate, trustworthy KV sellers out there, but there are a lot of scammers as well, so be careful. What a lot of KV sellers will do, to make more money out of their key vaults, is they'll resell them. It's as simple as that. They sell you a key vault, they say it's unshared, and then they go and resell it to other people as shared so they can get more money out of it. and you end up with a shared key vault when you paid for an unshared key vault. So yeah, you've really got to watch that. If you want to make sure that your KV seller is legit, then it's going to take some time, but it's worth doing it. Just so you know it's a trustworthy KV seller. Buy an unshared key vault from them, and don't use it for a week. So buy it from them, run it through a KV checker, make sure it's unbanned first of all, and then leave it on your computer for about a week. And just don't use it at all. Just leave it on your computer for a week. And after that week's done, or every day, check it through KV checker. And after a week, if it's still not banned, then yeah, you know that he hasn't resold your key vault. And if it is banned, then you know that he's a scamming piece of shit. So yeah, you you might want to not buy from them again if that happens. So yeah, be careful who you buy your key vaults from, and just, you know, if you're unsure, then do that extra check just to make sure that that the person selling you your key vaults are legit and they're not reselling them to other people. So moving on, number 5, no homebrew apps on the same profile that have been using homebrew apps. So the best way to do this is to have a one profile that you use when you're offline. So me, for example, I've got an offline profile which I use for going on XCX menu, freestyle dash, dash launch, link, all that kind of stuff. I use my offline profile, but I have a separate profile for online. So I've got a separate profile for Xbox Live when I'm online using Sable. So that is what you want to do. You want to have 2 separate profiles. Don't use the same profile for both. So you've just been using like an Xbox Live profile when you're offline, just going on XCX menu, freestyle dash and everything, and then you get stealth time and you go on stealth for a while on that same profile. Then that's also going to reduce the life of your key vault a little bit. I mean, like I say, we're on number 5 now, so it's not, these aren't, you know, huge things that are going to affect it, but it's little things will still make your key vault last longer. So yeah, just make sure you've got a separate profile for offline using homebrew apps, and then another separate clean profile for online that you don't go on any homebrew apps. Okay, so number 6, when you're modding, use RPC tools. That's a kind of a big one, I guess, because when you're using files like patch MP files on older games that have GSC mods and DLLs for Modern Warfare 2 mods, they're more detectable because they're on the hard drive, whereas RPC tools is through a connection like Neighborhood, so it's not undetectable obviously, because you've got games like Black Ops 2 and Ghosts that can detect when an RPC tool is being used with their automatic banning systems. But on older games, it's safer to use RPC software than using patch files and stuff like that. Alright, number 7, watch out for KV stealers and flash key vault to NAND. So that's another thing with RPC tools. A lot of free and cracked RPC tools have key vault stealers in them, which steal the key vault from the hard drive. It's a really dirty thing that these developers of free and cracked RTE tools do to try and make money, because obviously it's a free tool, so they want to make money somehow, a lot of them. So what they'll do is they will put a little KV stealer, code that in with their program, so when you run the program when you're online, it's going to basically search for your key vault on the hard drive, which by default will be on the root. So just take the key vault from your hard drive, upload it to a server, and then they'll get other people to pay to access that server to get the key vaults that get uploaded. So yes, be very careful about free and cracked RTE tools, because a lot of them do have key vault stealers in them, which obviously is going to reduce the life of your key vault very quickly, because it'll just get shared with lots of people. So one way to kind of protect yourself against this, it's not a foolproof method, but it does help, is to flash your key vault to your NAND. Now, by flashing a key vault to your NAND, most RTE tools that have KV stealers in them usually only steal the key vault from the hard drive because it's easier. It's just right there on the hard drive and you just pluck it right off there and upload it to a server. If you have it flashed to the NAND, then you're more likely to, it's less likely that their key vault stealer will take the key vault from the NAND. It's not impossible, but it's less likely. Most key vault stealers only steal the key vault from your hard drive. So if you do have a key vault, I recommend you well, obviously you'll have a key vault if you're going online, but I recommend you flash it to your NAND rather than just putting it in the root of your hard drive. Now, this is one of the steps that not everybody's going to be able to do, because if you've got a Corona key vault and you're on any other console other than a Corona, it's not going to work when you flash it to the NAND. And yeah, if you've got like a Jasper, like a fat console, and you've got a slim KV, it's not going to work. If you have I think the best one to have is a Trinity. If you have a Trinity RGH, then obviously Trinity KVs will work and fat console KVs will work, but still no Corona KVs will work. So if you have a Corona KV, then you're not going to be able to follow that step. You'll just have to put it on the hard drive and just hope that you don't have an RTE tool that has a KV stealer in it. So yeah, be very careful, because even some of the popular RTE tools did turn out to have key vault stealers in them. So yeah, it's you got to be careful for that. Alright, so number 7. Nope, number 7 was what I just went over. Okay, number 8. Don't go on Ghosts and Black Ops 2 if possible. Yeah, this is another one that most people are not going to be able to follow. I know a lot of people just go online to play those two games, Black Ops 2 and Ghosts. But because they have automatic banning systems in place, then it will reduce the life of your key vault when you get banned, when you get game banned from the game. If you have a bypass that lasts for forever and you never get banned when you're on those games, then fine. But even if you just have a basic bypass that only lasts a day or so, when you do get in-game banned, it does reduce the life of your key vault. It's more likely that your key vault's going to get banned pretty soon after, or quite quickly after anyway. So yeah, just be careful, and if you can avoid those games, please avoid them. If you can't, then just make sure you're using a really good bypass, ban bypass for that. Number 9, well, that kind of covers it. Number 9 was use ban bypasses where possible, which I've just kind of covered. And finally, number 10 is use an XUID spoofer when you're online on any games. If you have an XUID spoofer for the game you're playing, use it. Just use it, because let's face it, legitimate players don't like modders. Fair enough, you know, you're going into their game, ruining the fun for them. Of course they're going to report you, that's just how it works. So you're going to get loads and loads of file complaints. Halo is one of the worst games for it. You get file complaints, so many file complaints on Halo, but Call of Duty is a bad one as well for file complaints. And if you get tons and tons of file complaints, then it does reduce the life of your key vault, because your profile gets banned, and you know, again, it all leads to your key vault not lasting long enough, so, or as long as you may want. So make sure that you spoof your XUID if you can, because when you have a spoofed XUID, when people report you, they're not those file complaints are not actually going to your profile, they're going to whoever you spoofed it as. So therefore you're kind of protected, and it also obviously it protects your profile from getting banned as well. I used to get profile banned quite quickly, and now I use XUID spoofers that are built into Apparition Net, and I've been on the same profile for quite over a couple, well, a month, no, more than that, probably about 6 or 7 weeks. I've still been on the same profile. Normally the profiles get banned within a week, or maybe a bit longer than that, but yeah, XUID spoofers are really handy tools. It helps make your key vault last longer, and it helps make your profiles last longer as well. So yeah, I think that is pretty much my top 10 list of things to make your key vaults last longer. So anyway, I hope this video was informative for you guys. So go ahead and leave a like if you liked the video, comment if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.